Hello, everyone. I have an announcement to make about the sacrament masses that were scheduled in April. As you know, many things are being canceled these days, and the sacrament masses are not being canceled. We will have your sacraments at a later time, but we will have to wait for them. We won't be able to have the April 11th sacrament mass, or the April 18th sacrament mass, or the April 25th sacrament mass. So if you are scheduled to have your sacraments on one of those days, we'll have to have that later. And I'm really sorry about that. I'm sorry that you have to wait. If you're like me, you've been really looking forward to those days. And it's just a little disappointing. And I think some of your feelings might be hurt, and some of your parents' feelings might be hurt. And you've all been working very hard to make arrangements for this and to be prepared. So I'm really sorry. And I have a couple of suggestions about those feelings of being sorry. And one of them has to do with a saint that I love very much. Her name is Saint Therese. That's Saint Therese. She's just wonderful. And she's a beautiful saint, and she had to wait for many things. Saint Therese had to wait for her first communion. She had her first communion about a year after she wanted it to. She wanted to. She was just a little bit too young, so she wasn't able to have her first communion when she wanted. And you can see that she's a nun, she's a sister, and she has those clothes that a nun wears, and she had to wait to be a nun. There's a famous story where she asked the Pope if she could be a nun earlier, but she had to be a nun a little later than she wanted. And then she also had to wait later on for almost every step of kind of a graduation for being a nun. She had to wait for everything. So we can pray to Saint Therese. That's one suggestion I have, is tell her that you're waiting too, and ask her to help you to know how to have feelings about that and how to pray about that. I think she'll help. And another thing, as you know, if we have some sort of sacrifice that we're making or something sad in our lives, we can give that to God as an offering, as a gift. We can say, I am suffering, and I would like to ask you to help people, help everyone in the world. Anyone else who is suffering, please help them with my suffering. We see that, then the third thing is that we see that the one who suffered the most and who offered himself totally to the Father is Jesus Christ, who died on the cross for us. And we can take all of our sufferings and give them, unite them with him, share them with him. Right? We do that together. He suffered and we suffer, and we put those together. So all those things are ways that I think we can pray about waiting and any other sufferings that we might be having. And at the same time, I want to encourage you to use this time well. Because you're waiting, you have a little more time. And Saint Therese, when she was waiting to be a sister, which she really, really wanted, what she did was she kept praying to God and offering God little things every day. So I would encourage you to do that. Spend that time, the time of waiting, which is uncomfortable and disappointing and a little bit sad, but spend it well. Use it to practice the virtues and to practice prayer. And that will make when it happens, your sacrament masses, your baptism and your confirmation and your first communion will be so much more beautiful because you spent that time well. So I hope that makes sense. And if you have any questions or if your parents have questions, then they can call us. And I'm saying this message in English, but Jose in our office is going to say it in Spanish too. So your parents will be able to listen to it. If they speak Spanish, they'll be able to listen to it in Spanish very soon, sometime this week. So um, that's what I wanted to tell you. And I again, I'm sorry, and I hope that you're not too disappointed, and again that you'll use your time well. God bless you.